The founders of Three Arrows Capital, Zhu and Davies, met at Phillips Academy in Andover, part of the class that started high school the same week as September 11. While lots of kids there are top-ranked boarding school is commonly known, coming from great wealth or prominent families, Zhu and Davies grew up in relatively modest circumstances in Boston. Both of our parents are not like rich, Davies said in the interview. We are very much middle-class guys. Neither were they especially popular. They were both known as kind of weird. But Zhu especially, says a classmate. In reality, they weren't weird at all, just shy. Zhu, a Chinese immigrant who came to the US with his family when he was 6, was known for his perfect GPA and for taking a heroic load of AP classes. He received the most studious superlative in his senior yearbook. He earned a special citation for his work in math, but he was far from just a numbers guy. He was also awarded Andover's top prize for fiction upon graduation. Zhu was the smartest person in my class, remembers a fellow student. Davies was a star on the crew team, but classmates otherwise remember him as an outsider, if they remember him at all. A budding Japanophile, Davies received top honors at graduation in Japanese. According to Davies, he and Zhu weren't particularly close back then. We went to high school together, we went to college together, and got our first job together. We weren't the best friends all the way though, he said on the Crypto podcast in 2021. I didn't know him that well in high school. I knew he was a smart guy. But by college, we started to hang out a lot more. College together was at Columbia, where they both took a math-heavy course load and joined the Scotch team. Zhu graduated a year early, summa cum laude, and moved to Tokyo to trade derivatives at Credit Suisse, where Davies followed him as an intern. They had desks next to each other until Zhu was laid off in the financial crisis, landing at a high-frequency trading shop in Singapore called Flow Traders. It was at Flow Traders that Zhu learned the art of arbitrage, attempting to capture small variation in relative value between two linked assets, typically selling the one that's overpriced and buying the one that's underpriced. He focused on exchange-traded fund (ETF), basically mutual funds that are listed like stocks, trading in and out of related ones to collect small profits. He excelled at it, rising to the top percentile of moneymakers at Flow. The success gave him a new confidence. He was known to bluntly criticize colleagues' performance and even call out his bosses. Zhu stood up in another way. The Flow officers full of servers ran hot, and he would come to work in short shorts and a t-shirt, then remove the shirt, leaving it off even when he went through the building's lobby. Zhu would be walking around topless in his mini shorts. A former colleague recalls he was the only one who would take off his shirt and trade. Zhu did a period at Deutsche Bank, following the footsteps of Arthur Hayes, crypto legend and billionaire co-founder of the Big Macs exchange. Davies had stayed on at Credit Suisse, but by then both were tired of the big bank life. Zhu complained to acquaintance about the low caliber of his banking colleagues and the bloated culture that allowed people to lose the firm's money on trade with little consequence. In his view, the best talent has already left and at hedge funds or struck out on their own. 24 years old, both of them decided to start their own shop. Davies mentioned there was very little downside to living in the interview. Like if we ever left and really messed it up hard, we would definitely get another job. In 2012, both were temporarily living in San Francisco. Zhu and Davies put their savings and borrowed money from parents to scrape together about $1 million in seed funds for Three Arrows Capital. The name came from a Japanese legend in which a distinguished daimyo, or warlord, teaches his son the difference between trying to snap a single arrow and trying to break three arrows together, which is impossible. In less than 2 months, they had doubled their money. Davies said on the podcast on Up Only. The pair soon headed for Singapore, which has no capital gain tax, and by 2013, they have registered their fund there with plans to relinquish their US passports and become Singapore citizens. Zhu, fluent in Chinese and English, moved fluently in the Singapore social scene, occasionally hosting poker games with Davies and friendly exhibition of chess matches. They seemed frustrated by their inability to get Three Arrows to the next level. In a dinner around 2015, Davies complained to another trader about how hard it was to raise money from investors. The trader wasn't surprised. After all, Zhu and Davies had neither much of a pedigree nor a track record. During this early phase, Three Arrows Capital focused on a niche market, arbitraging emerging market foreign exchange, FX derivatives, financial products tied to the future price of smaller currency, the Thai baht, Malaysian rupiah, for example. Access to those markets depends on having strong trading relationships with big banks, and getting in the door was almost impossible. At the time, FX trading was moving to electronic platforms, and it was easy to find differences or spreads between prices quoted at different banks. Three Arrows found its sweet spot, trolling the listing for mispricing and picking them off, often pocketing just fractions of a cent on a dollar traded. It was a strategy that the banks disliked. Zhu and Davies were essentially scooping out money this institution would otherwise keep. Sometimes, when banks realize they have quoted 3 arrows the wrong price, they will ask to amend or cancel the trade. But Zhu and Davies won't budge. Last year, Zhu tweeted out a 2012 photo of himself, smiling while sitting in front of 11 screens, seems to be making a reference to the FX trading strategy of picking off banks big. He wrote, "You haven't lived until you have hit 5 dealers on the same quote at 2:30 AM. The banks began cutting it off. Whenever 3 arrows requested a price, all the bank's FX trader were like, "I'm not going to price them," says a former trader who was a counterparty to 3AC. Lately, the joke has been going around among FX traders who knew 3 arrows in the early days and watched his collapse. "We, FX traders, are partly to blame for this because we knew for a fact that these guys were not able to make money in FX," says a former trader. But then, when it came to crypto, everyone thought they were geniuses. A basic thing to note about crypto is that, so far anyway, it has been subject to a progression of extreme, or roughly regular boom and bust cycles. In the 13-year history of Bitcoin, in the 2018 bear market was a particularly painful one. After reaching a record high of 3,000 in late 2017, cryptocurrency crashed to $3,000, dragging with it thousands of smaller coins in the market. It was against this backdrop that 3 arrows switched its focus to crypto, starting to invest in such an opportunistic time that Zhu was often credited, which is to say he took credit for calling the bottom of the cycle. In later years, it looked like brilliance to many impressionable crypto noobs and even industry insiders who followed Zhu and Davies on Twitter. But the timing might have just been luck. After all, 3 arrows was looking for a new record. With cryptocurrency trading on exchanges around the world, the firm's experience with arbitrage came in handy right away. One famous trading strategy was known as the kimchi premium. It involved buying Bitcoin in, example, US or China, selling in higher price in South Korea, where the exchanges were more tightly regulated, resulting in higher prices. Trade setups like these were plentiful and profitable. They were the bread and butter of 3 arrows capital, which told investors they practice low-risk strategies designed to make money in both the bull and the bear times. Another crypto arbitrage might involve buying Bitcoin as current or spot price while selling Bitcoin futures or vice versa in order to harvest a price premium. The fund's investment objective is to achieve consistent market-neutral returns while preserving capital. 3AC, 3 arrows capital official documents read, "Investing in a way that involves a little downside no matter what the broader market is doing is, of course, known as hedging. But hedge strategies tend to spin off the most money when executed at scale. So 3 arrows became borrowing money and putting it at work. If all went well, it could generate profits that more than covered the interest owed to the loan. Then it would do it over again, continuing to grow its pro-investment, which will allow it to borrow even larger sums." As we analyze the co-founder, Mr. Zhu, this name has been used by the media and all the major public call him by this name Zhu, S-U-Z-H-U. If you break down as a numbers analysis, this is 19212600821. Oh yes, you say you identify a few common numbers combination. They have the 608806, which is the hidden wealth, hidden value, which is equivalent to the company name, and also the other numbers. You also identify the extreme behavior, childlike behavior of 1221 happened in the 212 and 21, multiple extreme behaviors. You also identify a very serious numbers combination issue, which is the 1991 combination, which means highest level of responsibility, ability, professionalism, business. When they dropped the 19, when they dropped to 26, is a very, very serious issue. The 19 dropped to 26 means it's the lowest level of responsibility, professionalism, and ability. And the drop, according to the name analysis, is due to the extreme behavior, harsh behavior, childlike behavior, and also due to the high risk and the high profits that caused the drop in the professionalism and the ability. This name of Zhu, or initial of SZ, has been used also in their email address that he frequently used. As you can see, Suzu@3arrowscap.com. This name is the same as the above analysis. So this has been used for all the business communication, talking to investors, creditors, public. This numbers combination will attract and reflect all the traits we mentioned. During the schooling years in Columbia University, Suzu have used an email address as follows: SG2164. When you break down the numbers combination, is equal to 19262164. This number may be his student number or his favorite number that he like to use. So according to 2164, which is a naturally attracted numbers, you can break down 21, again, the extreme risk, behavior, childlike, but they have a 16. This 16 is the highest level of 1661. It means an area and environment. It also means high level of sensitive, high level of EQ. So with combined with 64, this attraction of 2164 means that he have a strong high EQ ability to package, to spread message, to present. If he is a very down to earth, a genuine person which communicate
to the public as if he's very hardworking, very driven, this kind of persona and personality they communicate to. On the external, on the public, people will feel that he's very driven, very hardworking, very real, genuine person. But if, according to these numbers combination, it definitely reflects that they have certain special issues and complications he face, because in actual fact, he is very worried and concerned or doubtful about his own behaviors and actions. According to 2164, it means that he's sensitive, doubtful, and conscious about his own actions and behavior. How can we invest into a person who is even doubtful of their own behavior? That's very strange. This is the exciting part where we can analyze the mobile number of the founder, Zhu. As follows. Singapore mobile number is 8606-7601. Yes, you identify, it's true. You attract the 8668, which is the highest level of wealth and value. At the start, it is, but it's followed by 66.
World's first numbers combination analysis. Through 14 years of research, analysis, experience, statistics of millions of numbers combination, we are able to effectively and accurately identify, segment, analyze, understand, improve, apply from 2 numbers to 100 numbers combinations. Example, Singapore mobile number with 8-digit numbers, there is 100 million different combinations. Cover all areas, improve all areas. Cover life, organization, society, and world. Every unique and different numbers combination reflects a totally unique and different human being. It encompasses the world regardless of race, region, age, gender, country, or culture. As per nearest capital mobile number, we are able to identify, analyze, and derive hundreds of meanings and reflections. As this is a public video, we hope to educate, remind, warn, and inform everyone to learn the importance of numbers combination analysis, to understand that anything in the world can be created or fake. Only numbers do not lie. If you're going to make any important decisions, no matter is it regards to human resource, investment, dating, partnership, do consult Cosmo MK before any important decisions in your life.